Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey guys, how are you? So we're going to wait maybe a minute or so to give people time to join in. Just wanted to welcome everyone and we'll get to it quickly. All right, guys, I think we can get started now. So first of all, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to address some of the progress that has been going on, both on the real estate and on the technology front. I also want to address, any concerns that you guys may have moving forward, and so you guys understand what the vision is, and we can produce alignment, hopefully. So first and foremost, Oscar unfortunately can't join us today. He's busy closing out a few acquisitions for the company in Indianapolis. So that's some very exciting news that we'll allude to. The objective here is to keep executing on our progress and at the same time communicating, dividing efforts and communicating to you guys so that you guys can remain abreast of everything that's going on. So with no further ado, why don't we just cut to the crux of the matter and address the questions head on. Clearly, the stock price has been sliding. That's obvious to you guys and anyone who's observing. Now, as we mentioned, and we'll continue to mention, this is not a technical trade. This is a long-term value play and a turnaround operation. So you have to put yourselves at where the company was. What was the reflection of the company early 2020 or late 2020, early 2021, where it is now? So where are we now? We've cleaned up. We're 92% finished with cleaning up the balance sheet. We've increased assets from 213,000 to about 5 million. We have put in place a full-time team on the technology side. On the comm side, we've piloted new strategies, but at the same time, we have a team in place that is overseeing that. We have an independent management team. We are turning the company literally around. So we went from a shell of a classical developer to a thriving prop tech company. If we were in the private markets, I would guarantee that we would not have the kind of feedback that we've had as of late. If we were in the private markets, people would celebrate the progress that happens. Now, we're not looking for sycophants, we're looking for constructive criticism, but we should address this objectively on all fronts. So yeah, let's get started with the individual questions, right? All right, so first question is, in terms of stock price, can we reassure, why has it slid? Why has it been sliding? And can we reassure investors that there is no bankruptcy risk? So yes, there is no bankruptcy risk in the sense that ownership is committed. The management team is committed and holds a very heavy stake in the company. And we're just making a lot of progress on all fronts. So I don't see that as an issue. Then stock price could be an issue. Stock price is not, it's just a reflection of where we are as a company right now. It's not, a function of anything negative that's going on. Quite the opposite. Things are quite positive. The current stock price merely reflects the reality of where we are and the market, but we can't comment on that. So we're not really going to comment on why it's there. Like we said, this is a long-term play. So what we're doing is building, and if the fundamentals are solid, obviously that will correlate with a much higher stock price downstream. So that's the only thing that I can personally speak to, and the only thing I can speak to on behalf of the company on that front. So yeah, we don't see any short to medium term bankruptcy risk. We also, can't really comment on near term price targets. However, what we can say is that the company will gain in value, and probably that will be reflected in the stock price the more we execute on our roadmap, the more the cleaner our balance sheet is, and the more assets we build in order to make this go full circle. So yep, that's question number one. Let's hop into question number two. Okay, when will there be a clean balance sheet? When will we see an end to what many are calling dilution? And do we plan on a reverse split of the stock? So we've answered this question many times, and there is no reverse stock split in the foreseeable future. That's just not something we're thinking about. We're not really concerned with financial engineering. We're committed to the long-term success of the company. And as a result, we're not really considering these matters. So yeah, in terms of timing of finalizing converting the toxic debt we formerly had, well, we're 92% there, right? So we've converted we've converted almost 11 million, and we have roughly 830,000 left. So, that's 8% remaining. We'll do this as expeditiously as possible. However, we don't want to set concrete dates and then fail to deliver on them. So, obviously in the foreseeable future, the next 30, 60 days, we will continue to experience this. However, we will end up with a clean balance sheet that will provide us the baseline that we need to grow the company long term. So again, this is long-term play. Anyone who sees this as almost like a private markets play, where you're betting on the long-term success of the company, then you're in the right place. If you're not, I don't know what to say. This is not the company for you. This is not the investment for you. If you want a short-term technical trade, or a short-term uptick so that you can sell, that's not really what we're here to deliver at all. Management is committed here for the next few years. So that's really not at all what we're looking into. So this will address more of the corporate governance and financial side of it. Now we can get into product and close off with real estate and roadmap. So let's get into that. In terms of the next question, what is the purpose of the Telegram and Discord group? They're similar, and little communication with the Metrospaces team. I don't know what you mean by the Metrospaces team. We have an independent comms team that handles this directly. So right now what we've been doing is we've been piloting and A/B testing what is more effective in order to gauge your product feedback for the Metro House beta, and very shortly the Metro Crowd beta. What our learnings have been clear, so this is actually a very good question. Our learnings are that Telegram is a bit dated, and as a result, we will be migrating the community from Telegram exclusively to Discord, and we hope that we can centralize product feedback in order to accelerate our go-to-market with two highly stable and valuable products in the near future. So the purpose of Telegram is at this stage, we can abandon that. The purpose of Discord is to centralize product feedback and with you guys produce the strongest possible product in the shortest amount of time. So again, we thank you extensively for providing constructive feedback and for helping us, not just as investors, but as early adopters in our product, to reach what we consider to be the pinnacle of co-working, co-living, and real estate financing through tokenization. All right, so let's take this over to the next question, which is, okay, so this is an interesting one. Is there a target date for the release of the platforms? There's been a lot of mention of conflicting information about the dates that have been given. Sure, and we take full ownership and responsibility of what has been going on in the past. So there were a series of pre-recorded webinars that unfortunately were released and didn't reflect the changing and dynamic situation of the company at large. So, we've piloted different comm strategies, we've tested different vendors, we've eliminated a couple of those vendors, and fittingly, we own the fact that this was not an appropriate method to communicate dates, deadlines, and progress, right? I think it makes more sense to perform more exercises like these, where we provide real-time updates that are current with the progress and expectation of our investors, right? So the progress of the company and the expectation of our investors. Now, having said all that, our objective is to go to market with a stable, attractive, and valuable platform that will yield results commercially and in terms of growth. So we're not here to set arbitrary dates for the release of different platforms if we don't have the existing inventory, if we don't have the client base, and if we're not ready to go to market with something that we consider valuable. So what do we think? I think that if we continue the beta, continue to glean feedback from you guys, then we can actually take a first iteration to market of both platforms, either late Q1 or early Q2, which is ahead of the original expectations. It usually takes a year to produce a highly viable, minimum marketable product, not minimum viable product. We're not in that business. We save MVPs for beta, and then we open it up to the market. And then, so let's get into more questions. Can you update us on beta testing and how it's going for Metro House and what we can expect from Metro Crowd? Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you guys. Thank you guys entirely for being so helpful. We don't want sycophantic feedback. Let me reiterate that the product team actually uh, feels great appreciation for all of your helpful feedback. We're taking all these, we're aggregating that feedback, we're prioritizing feedback, and as a result, meshing it with our roadmap targets, but also addressing, core bugs, UX features that can be improved, and many other things. So, yeah, in many ways, thank you guys so much for your feedback here. And then in terms of, well, that's in terms of Metro House. In terms of Metro Crowd, we should be releasing our beta mid-December. And again, we invite and welcome your feedback. We want you guys to join Discord. We want you guys to provide any helpful criticism, any helpful feedback that you can deliver so that we can take a stable, attractive, and valuable version iteration of both products to market as soon as convenient, as soon as possible. Cool. So over to the next question. What do we have? Okay, this is an interesting question. So can you walk us through the tokenization process? How fast is the process? Well, we can't really speak to the speed, but the idea is to be best in class, best in market, and be able to tokenize in real time. So in terms of the tech, be able to tokenize in real time and then deliver a stable, compliant, and attractive iteration of those tokens that can actually mesh with our property management system, and we can track assets in real time. And this leads to the second part of the question, which is, it's more of a comment. Tokenomics and Tezos. Yes, we do think Tezos is great for real-time asset tracking and have incorporated it into our stack as a result of that. We've also incorporated Thomas Carter into our advisory board from Dealbox, who fosters phenomenal relationships with the Tezos Foundation. So we get real-time support, we get a best-in-the-class product and chain for for a Web 3.0 offering that in many ways can be cross-platform, cross-chain. So I think Tezos is a great starting point. Now, there are mentions to Ethereum. Look, again, these were things that were mentioned early stages and don't really align with our priorities. Personally, we don't see Ethereum as a viable option unless we were to go, the STO route in order to self-fund through non-dilutive means. That's open, but it's not part of our core offering. Our core offering, in terms of Metro Crowd and how we tokenize real estate, for now will begin on Tezos and will evolve cross-chain downstream. So I hope that that helps. Let me see if there's any other segment of this question that was missing. Yes, building cross-bridge, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, for now, Ethereum is irrelevant. We do know about the high gas prices, and it just doesn't seem like something we're looking to include near term at all. So another question, what competition exists in the space from a tokenization perspective, and why will Metrospaces dominate? It's a great question. So I personally, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken, you guys can post your comments or maybe bring it to our attention, but we haven't found a company that can tokenize and offer real estate projects successfully. So that's where we feel uniquely positioned through the quality of our real estate offering, through our tech stack, through our partnerships in investment banking. We feel uniquely positioned to deliver a compliant, secure, scalable solution that can actually do this and become the benchmark in terms of providing a marketplace for tokenized real estate, tokenizing real estate, and tracking those assets in terms of price, in terms of performance in real time with great liquidity. That's what we're looking to do. We're looking to create an efficient market for real estate, right? For real estate financing. So REITs, syndicates, pre-construction, development projects, we want to provide access and we want to provide liquidity. That is the goal. And do we feel that there are any competitors? Yes, there's a lot of people trying to achieve this. It's also a massive market that ironically may gain from competition and bringing more people and attention to the space. Are people performing tokenization? Yes, but more in traditional securities and other asset classes. We don't see it in real estate, which is a $300 trillion opportunity. So, we feel uniquely positioned to capitalize on an early mover advantage and then really cement ourselves as the standard in real estate tokenization. And the more the merrier. We want to invite different players into our ecosystem, and we're looking to collaborate. We're not looking to just dominate for the sake of dominating. We're looking to build the ecosystem and the platform from which our quote unquote competitors can come in and actually play in the sandbox. So yeah, no, that was a great question, and thank you for this. Hopefully we're addressing it. Any other questions, please feel free to post them on YouTube, on Twitter, and we'll see what gets addressed in Thursday Thoughts and other comm strategies that we've been delivering, piloting. You'll see many more. We'll maybe, if you guys like the live Q&A situation, that would be great. If you guys want something more dynamic, please feel free to ask for it. Our Thursday Thoughts, I think, are informative. Obviously, we won't be pre-recording content moving forward. We'll do something a bit more dynamic. But any suggestions as far as how we can improve our comms, that would be great. Our objective is to deliver value, but more importantly, well, that is the most important, but also equally important is to communicate progress in a manner that makes sense. Cool. So next question. Are we looking at proof of work mining? How about Tezos baking, Web3, node relays, etc.? So yeah, it's a great question. We're looking at baking solutions. We're definitely fifth generation Web 3.0 company. So we're looking for cross-chain interoperability. We're looking at staking solutions, at baking solutions, minting. We don't really think that proof of work, we have nothing against proof of work as a consensus algorithm. We just don't think it can scale at the pace that we need. So long-term, it's inviable to us. But I've worked with proof of work countless times through Shockworks. We think it's fine. We have nothing against it. It just isn't properly suited for what we're doing at Metrospaces. But that's a great question. So thank you for this. Okay. I think this concludes. Well, we'll get back into product in the closing segments of this Q&A. However, let's get into real estate. And guys, please bear with me. I am not the real estate expert, although, we do have some very good updates, but we'll get into this shortly and then go back to roadmap and close off, hopefully. So in terms of what is, talk to us more about future real estate acquisitions and JV partnerships. The second question is about an Infinity Villas update. Why don't we put the two together, right? And then kill two birds with one stone. So in terms of new acquisitions, well, you guys obviously know about the office buildings in Houston. So that's closed, and we're looking to acquire a lot more commercial real estate there. Moreover, we've acquired and will continue to acquire a lot of multifamily in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have a few projects that we'll comment on when it becomes a reality in the East Coast of the United States. And Infinity Villas should be ready for pre-sales in January, and it should reach its phase 2 in July of 2022. So these are the immediate acquisitions, the immediate opportunities that we've capitalized on. So this is the asset base, but we're looking to grow this by an order of magnitude and incorporate it into our technology product suite. So put this into MetroCrowd, put this into MetroHouse, make sure that there is complete alignment, and we can track this and make it a cumulative effort that will translate into a lot of value creation for the company. And as you all want, hopefully a higher stock price in the medium term future, right? So, okay, so that should conclude the real estate segment. Oscar has been very, very hard at work. He's currently in Indianapolis, closing in on those projects. So, we've secured a lot of bank financing. We've been able to move forward on these opportunities ahead of schedule, and we will continue to attempt to accelerate the delivery schedule. And moreover, mesh these into our technology offerings and really bring a solution that can run full circle. So, yep, that's the objective right now. So, well, before we get into the final question, I wanted to, again, and not to sound repetitive, thank everyone who joined our Metro House beta. We want to get feedback from our early adopters. We want to get feedback from our early investors and our investors in general. We want to convert our investors into adopters and our adopters into investors. So thank you again. Much obliged, guys. And definitely, we'd like to invite you in the very near future to the MetroCrowd beta. The more feedback we gather, the quicker we move, the sooner we can go to market with the first iteration of the offering. And we'll get into the roadmap objectives immediately, right? So to close off, we have our roadmap, right? In terms of our corporate roadmap, obviously the main objective is to finalize this 8% of converting toxic debt and really just have a clean slate, a clean balance sheet, and a springboard from which to really dive in deep on all these opportunities. So, in terms of jumping in on the springboard, in real estate, obviously we've talked about Indianapolis. We've talked about our acquisitions in Indianapolis and Houston and in the DR. However, we have a lot more opportunities that we'll continue to discuss, that we'll continue to make, to disclose as they close. We don't want to set expectations that are unrealistic. We'd rather let you know as soon as they happen. But what you will see is a massive acceleration in growth, and it will all tie in full circle with our Metro House and MetroCrowd offering. So in terms of corporate roadmap and in terms of real estate roadmap, those are our updates. Now, in terms of product roadmap, that's more my domain. So what do we have? Let's separate this into MetroCrowd, Metro House, and how they tie in together, right? So the objectives are, and we will deliver a full-on roadmap in January of 2022 that you guys can hold us accountable against. But for now, just to give you guys a rough update, right? Our objective is to have a full circle end-to-end tokenization platform, right? We want this platform to operate with a property management system, a PMS, that can track assets in real time. So you can track your investment performance and pricing in real time. And we want it to integrate into a marketplace where we own the tokenization marketplace for real estate. We want to become the de facto marketplace. We want to visualize it and allow our users to track it in real time while we also tokenize. So we want to run end to end here, right? And that's where we are with MetroCrowd. With Metro House, we want to definitely tie this offering on to MetroCrowd. We want to now begin to develop mobile platforms that encourage interaction amongst our users, right? For rec spaces, for co-living spaces, for co-working spaces, similarly to WeWork, create this community and be able to have people add value to each other in a manner that makes sense and accounts for the unit economics of the business, right? Also, we want to increase cap rates and have that reflected into our MetroCrowd PMS and offering, right? What else? We want a lot more inventory and we want real-time booking. So we want to really perfect what we have available and turn it into an easy-to-use, secure, scalable platform that builds communities, increases cap rates, and can be visualized in MetroCrowd. We look forward to many more strategic partnerships like Thomas Carter and Dealbox, like we've done with Ego Games and with CryptoBucks. We're going to look to include VR solutions very shortly. We may include Bitcoin mining solutions. As soon as these partnerships from the Shockworks ecosystem and beyond that become available, you will be the first to know. So yeah, we wanted to keep this Q&A very short, very succinct, and we want to take your questions as well so that we can address them in our Thursday thoughts and have more of these. Maybe any comments, any commentary that you guys have on how we can be more effective in communicating our progress or your concerns directly, that would be helpful. Again, we've learned that anything scripted or pre-recorded just doesn't work. We want a more transparent, a more up-to-date, and a more intimate form of communication with our investors. So yeah, we're here, we're learning on the go, and we're here to improve. What we can tell you is that we now have an independent management team, all kinds of vendors. We have a full-time product team, and we will continue to expand on this. So we went from, an empty shell to a proper company that will start to deliver very attractive results in 2022, and yeah, sooner than you guys can expect. So again, thank you guys for your patience. Thank you guys for your confidence, and thank you for building with us. Again, this is long-term, so keep your eye on the prize 6, 12 months from now. Guys, thank you so much, and take care. Cheers. Have a great weekend.